Hey guys, Adam aka askcsradical here, and thank you for checking out this episode of the VCR Podcast. For more content, you can visit our Instagram at vcr.podcast. If you are looking for a video version of this podcast, you can visit my YouTube channel at askcsradical. And if you are coming from the YouTube channel looking for an audio version of the podcast, you can check us out at anchor.fm/VCR Podcast for all available platforms. Thanks for checking us out, guys, and let's get on with the show.
You have entered the realm of the VCR Podcast with your host, Vish,
They're just bastardizing our childhood and the classics.
Chris,
Nintendogs drove me. It's what makes me want to hurt people.
Radical.
People in general still bitch about everything. It still doesn't change.
Let the podcast begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VCR Podcast, the only podcast that predates itself in the moment the title is spoken. Adam, aka askcsradical, here with you guys. We got Vish and Chris with us. Another day of quarantine, and we remain remote.
Yes. Remote work, remote podcast,
All at
remote
our
gaming.
We are all at our respective homes, remotely gaming, remotely podcasting, remotely content creating, remotely doing literally every fucking thing imaginable.
Or in my case, just another normal day.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty normal for me. Minus, after this, we would go to the bar. I miss the bar.
We are
so
not
much.
having another 5-minute discussion about how much we miss chicken wings. That was last week.
Why did you say the C word?
You didn't. You don't understand, Adam. What? It's withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, man. This is a disease.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm further on the 12-step program than you guys, so.
Yeah,
Because
you're
I'm
an
at the
acceptance.
acceptance step.
Yeah, I'm in denial.
I'm in fear. Is it fear one of them?
You ever suck dick
I don't
for
know
chicken wings?
because I don't really care much because I don't think I'll ever have to deal with a 12-step program in my life.
I have not sucked dick for chicken wings because, in all honesty, chicken wings are not that expensive that you need to suck dick for.
Yeah, but what if they were, like, so rare, like now?
I just can't do it.
They're not that rare. Come on now.
Yeah, no, I just use Uber Eats. That's probably easier than selling myself.
All right, like I said, we're done with the chicken wing stuff. So anyway.
Well, at this point, we have to start all prostituting ourselves once the economy crashes. So
Wait,
I mean,
I
isn't
wasn't
that what
supposed to be
social
doing that
media's for?
already?
Technically, you're just prostituting yourself.
Yeah, I've been selling my body for years. Not really.
Yeah. How's that going?
I mean, I end up paying everybody else, so it's weird.
So, as a male stripper, Chris.
Oh no, like I'm a full-on worker. I don't just dance.
Oh, okay. So, but then you have to pay people to pay you. It's like
It starts off where they're supposed to pay me.
Huh. Well,
I mean, it still ends in shame. That part doesn't change.
Oh, there's no shame. I don't
Shame?
know shame.
ding ding ding. Shame.
Yes, Game of Thrones.
Speaking
Yes,
of shame, we're shameless gamers. So let's talk about what we've been doing for the last.
Speaking
7
of
days.
shame,
Who wants to go first?
I will, since
You.
I'm going to be a little bit shorter. I'm still playing Trails of Cold Steel 3. Remember, though, how last week I told you guys about how they are trying to avoid the nostalgia? They're not being a little bit too crazy on it?
yep.
Is this the JRPG you're talking about?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
So I
The
mentioned
sixth
how
in
they
a
were
series.
taking it a little bit easy on the nostalgia part. That's actually completely not true. So in the initial town, they throw a couple of people in there, and I'm thinking, okay, that's kind of neat. Every single place I go to now, there's at least one of the people from the other two games that happen to be there.
Oh damn.
So, and so far in this game, I've gone nowhere that's from the original two games. So I've gone to all these new places. And every single time I go to this new place, there happens to be one or two people from the same academy that graduated with me that just happen to have jobs there now. So every time, I'm just thinking, one of two things happens. They either be like, man, there's this really interesting person that you should go see over there. I'm thinking, oh, gee, I wonder who that could be. Or I'm about to get my ass kicked and somebody just pops in.
That's fun.
So the game is having no qualms in being shamelessly nostalgic. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying I need to eat my words from last week where I said it wasn't actually trying to be that nostalgic because it's going out of its way now to do that.
it's like 100-hour game. So am I correct?
It might be longer than that. I think I just finished the first chapter, and I just ended up being like almost 30 hours for it. So
Okay, so it's with a game like that, there's bound to be like ad hoc changes like that. So it could be like, oh, we're not talking about the past at all. Be like, yeah, we got you, motherfucker.
no, they've just been completely shameless with it. Although I will say it's kind of weird. Like, you know that you've played a game long enough that you go and see one of these characters that somehow just happens to be in the place that you're traveling to, and he says, "Oh, I just got engaged to this other character that's also an NPC." And my first reaction was, "Oh, that's good for him." And then I stopped and went, "Wait, I just got happy that an NPC got engaged to another NPC."
I mean, people get happy with that in like books and stuff. I gotta imagine it's similar.
It's just strange, though, because they're not even like major characters. They're just minor characters at the school. But you just know throughout the course of the 3 games, or I guess the 2 at that point, that they had a relationship building.
Grand wedding celebration or anything?
No, they're engaged.
Oh, okay.
And Adam's heart grew 2 times that day.
See, that fish, he just doesn't listen, I tell you.
Dude, you don't know. I don't know how far you're in the game. They could be engaged yesterday. They could be married tomorrow. It depends on the game.
They're NPCs. No one gives a fuck about their wedding.
Yeah.
The other thing about this game that I have discovered, though, is that, and Chris has seen it on Twitter through the various screenshots I've taken, the game has decided to go full-blown harem anime and just be shamelessly sexual.
Yeah, your Twitter account is so NSFW right now.
So
Every time I'm scrolling, I'm like, whoa, right, I'm not at work. It's all right.
Every time, in the first 2 games, generally speaking, apart from like, maybe a couple of characters just talking about breast sizes, for the most part, it's pretty tame in comparison to a lot of games. This game, like, the second you see one of these characters, she's dressed in like a leather, like friggin' hide boots and all this shit, and you're thinking, okay, no, that's definitely some pretty sexual material. And then the second she interacts with the first girl she gets to interact with, she reaches under this girl's body armor and starts groping her. I'm thinking, oh, okay, so we're going full-blown anime with this game now. And after another 5 or 10 hours, I'm like, yeah, no, this game has had a shower scene. This game has also had a girl having excess cleavage. I'm like, yeah, nope, we've definitely gone full anime with this game. I'm not opposed to it.
That shower scene. I saw the picture you posted of the shower scene on your Twitter. She's in the shower with a towel on. What the fuck is up with that censorship?
Japan apparently, they didn't want to go that extra mile, so they had to put the towel in there.
But no one showers with the towel on. That's the stupidest idea.
Have you guys... There's this one game on the PlayStation. It wasn't a long game, but it took up 4 discs because it was a toon shader game. And it had pre-rendered moving backgrounds. You know what? Let me find the title of it. And
well, in the meantime, I'll keep talking while you're looking at it.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
The game, as I'm getting further in it, the first chapter is actually really, really interesting, and then it just throws a bunch of curveballs at you. There's a guy who has supposedly been dead the entire time in the 3 games. He's suddenly alive now, and one of the main characters is just losing her shit about it. So they're doing a good job of actually ramping things up, and they also do a pretty dark moment. I don't think either of you guys will play it, so I'll kind of half spoil it, but this is a bit of a spoiler for anyone playing Trails 3 if you haven't gotten that far. There's basically, and I'll be as broad as as vague as I can with it. There's this one place you have to go to that is essentially the birthplace of a couple characters from the Trails in the Sky series, and they explain the origins of that village and how it came to be destroyed. And it's some like next level government cover-up shit that you would expect to hear like come out of like the presidential black book.
Damn.
So it like, again, I don't want to spoil too much, but like apparently only 2 people survived until you find out that there's a third. Sorry, go ahead, Vish.
The game I was thinking it's called Fear Effect.
I thought it was going to be Fear Effect when you mentioned it.
Yeah.
When you said cel-shaded graphics.
Well, it's also like the towel scene. There's a level in the game where you distract the dude trying to kill you by opening up your towel. It's like boobs, and then you kill him. So it just brought me back to nostalgia.
Excess realism right there.
Say what?
Yeah.
Excessive realism.
Yes, exactly.
That's how I
know, like the game has done a pretty good job of melting either funny shit, really dark shit now, some pretty intense stuff, because now that we're 3 games into 4, like there's a serious war really going on now, so it's starting to ramp up. And then obviously just a bunch of really overly sexual stuff. And then that one moment where the game broke and sent one of my characters under a bridge and into a river and still kept attacking like it was completely normal.
I loved that picture you posted on Twitter. That was fantastic.
I'm just like, so this guy is Jesus now, apparently.
Is this the 6th game, like in total?
Technically, it is the 7th, because apparently there's a game in between Trails in the Sky and Trails of Cold Steel, but never got released here yet.
And you've played all 6 that are available. Like this is
no,
the 6th
I have not
one
played any of the Trails. Well, I started playing Trails in the Sky, but I hadn't really gotten too far in it because it's a very older game. Like it's older graphics. I had trouble getting into it, so I finally just gave up because so many references kept getting pushed back that I just finally looked up the actual story because I had to.
This game itself was released on the PS2 originally.
It was like this game right now. It started out on the PS3. It's now gotten ported to the PS4.
But it feels that dated on from the PS3 to PS4.
The original series. The other one was like I don't even know what it was released on. I think it was PSP.
Yeah, I think that used to be a mobile. Yeah, I think it used to be a PSP and then Vita franchise originally.
Like it looks very much like an old like Super Nintendo, early PlayStation, like Breath of Fire 3 or 4 kind of JRPG.
But is it?
Damn, I just got hard. That is exactly the kind of game I love to play.
But is it a timeless nostalgia type look, or does it look dated? Like because most PS1 games,
it's almost like both.
They do.
It's not blocky PlayStation. It's still very much like a bridge between Super Nintendo and like early PlayStation.
Suikoden?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
I love Breath of Fire 3 and 4 on PS, so
I have it too, so I need to go back and play those. But the game as it stands right now has been pretty good. I did want to casually just mention one really, really heavy thing that I watched recently, actually today.
Okay.
There is a documentary series called The Dark Side of the Ring that Vice does. And it goes into like some really like heavy stories from pro wrestling back in the day.
Oh, okay, that ring. Okay, yep.
And they have their second season, and the first 2 episodes have to do with Chris Benoit.
Oh wow, man!
I had to prepare myself to watch that because he was one of my favorites growing up, and that tragedy still rings heavy today.
This is one of those moments that you wish you did drink.
No, it was not that bad for me.
Oh, okay.
But it's 2 parts. The first one, I told like 2 of my friends that you guys know, but I'm not going to name them because we don't want any people trying to search up stuff. Yep. But I told them, who are big wrestling fans, said, honestly, watch part 1 because it's really good in getting at least the story across before the actual double murder-suicide. Because it talks about him as a wrestler. It talks about Eddie Guerrero, which was his best friend, and what probably led in large part to Chris Benoit going kind of crazy over the last moments of his life. Part 2, I told them straight up, do not watch because it is hard to stomach because they go full truth. They tell you what happened the couple of days that it took. Because he didn't just murder his wife and child and then himself in the same day. No, he murdered his wife 2 days before he killed himself, and then murdered his kid the morning after he killed his wife. So there is a long process in between it. Yeah, and just hearing like the day-to-day like actions, like how everything happened, and specifically how both of them were murdered, is fucking chilling.
Well, the problem is like when like the Under the Giant one was depressing, but that's only because like he was just a tragic figure. Yeah. Jake the Snake was depressing as fuck because he's just a train wreck. But this one is just like...
This one is horrifying.
No, because
this one's next level.
This one's not even just about like an addict, or like this is a guy who just he killed his own family.
It's a hard watch. I mean, it goes pretty deep. Like, it's to the point now that to make a long story short, I think Chris Benoit, the human being, didn't actually kill his wife and son. Chris Benoit, the man who had severe CTE, the brain of over a 90-year-old man, it apparently was what it was told, and a guy who lost basically his best friend in the entire world and probably the only thing keeping him sane, and he just snapped.
I'm sorry, I'm not a wrestling fan. Did Eddie Guerrero die?
Eddie Guerrero died of heart disease, likely because of all the drugs, and he had several overdoses over his career. He died at 38. And they showed footage of the tribute show after he passed away, and you see Benoit talk about him, and you see him bawling, and it was heartfelt as hell. What you didn't know is that he never stopped bawling. Like, there were stories about Eddie's wife saying that he would come over to the house and literally lie on the side of Eddie's bed and cry into his pillow, and would do that for hours. Like, the guy was just so crushed. So it tells me that if you mix that heavy emotion, this is a guy that didn't display a lot of emotion professionally. He was very quiet and very distant. For him to show that much and to mix that with severe CTE can only tell me that that is a recipe for fucking disaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and to finish it off, one's to wonder that if Eddie's still alive, the guy still might have killed himself, but he might not have been in nearly as much of bad shape that he could have killed his family. It's obviously hypothetical, but it's one of those things where it's like so many of these things came together, and it just, as soon as that moment happened, everything started falling. And it's such, I cried at the end of the first part because I felt that emotion. At the end of the second part, I felt nothing. I felt so cold.
Damn.
You feel numb.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of emotion. It makes you numb almost.
Like, it's an amazing documentary, but man, is it tough to watch, especially if you were way into that.
Prime?
It's on Vice has it. I think they have it on free on their website. I admittedly got it through an illegal channel because most of the times they block these things to Canada because, US loves blocking shit.
America.
But anyways, enough about depressing shit.
Yeah, I think I will avoid watching this one. Just because, we're already getting depressed enough right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm torn. I kind of want to see it, but I know that at the end
it was really worth it for me because I finally got the closure I needed, because they brought out his wife's sister, and they brought out his only son, his remaining son. Which, by the way, if his son wasn't from a previous marriage, that kid probably would have been killed too, because the kid was with the stepmother when this all happened.
Oh, fuck. So this kid had almost no relation to the family that was killed?
Oh no, Chris was his dad. It's just the wife and the wife was his stepmom, basically.
The half brother.
Oh no, sorry, I should rephrase it. The guy who's still alive today was Chris's son from another marriage. So the wife that was killed would have been his stepmom, and the brother is still his brother technically. It's just not with the same mother.
It's his what is that, a half brother?
I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah.
It's wow.
It was the first time in a long time too. I think it was the first time since the murder that him and that sister were together. Because the families apparently didn't want anything to do with each other.
Unfortunately, it's tragic that he had all these issues, but I don't unfortunately blame them for not wanting to.
No, you definitely don't. But for me as a guy who really grew up idolizing the guy, it was at least good for the closure to at least know what happened definitively. Yeah. And just to be finally able to take that and just... Now I don't have to worry about any maybes to it anymore, because there are a lot of weird conspiracy theories about it. But anyways, I keep rambling on about it. I want to move on from this. So let's switch over to Chris. What have you been doing?
Well, I finished Civilization 6 finally.
Did you win?
You actually won?
I won. It took 653 turns.
So how did you actually win? Which method did you win?
Domination. I took over the entire fucking planet.
So
literally
you were
every
brain.
city. I only left one city-state alone because that's not like another civilization that grows. It's just one city that's going to be itself. It's not connected to anything else. You can send envoys there, and the city kind of joins you, and it's on your side. But if there's more envoys from other civilizations, they're with them. I only left one city on the entire planet, and that was Toronto. I hit Toronto. I'm like, nah, you guys are good.
It's like, yeah, you guys are
good.
Cool.
And I sent all my envoys there, and they became a part of my my domination of the world. So I went
you
through...
finally did what the brain couldn't do because of Pinky.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god! Sorry to cut you off. Did you guys see that link I sent you on Facebook?
Yes, I
Where
did.
Yeah,
Pinky
Pinky and the Brain Actors reading out
awesome.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah, that was really good.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
So otherwise, what else?
So I finished Civilization. It was 653 turns. On Steam it said it was 38 hours it took me, but I also played on the Switch because I have it on both, and it's one of those ones where the save goes onto any platform. So I'm pretty sure I have over 10 hours on the Switch as well, but I'm afraid to even look at the
So
time
it's a
on
real
there
long
because
game.
It's a really fucking long game.
Well, then again, to win by domination, that's like the longest way to win a game.
Yeah,
too.
it took forever. Like to win by culture or science, where you like go to Mars and stuff, I would have been able to do that way sooner. I just chose like, no, I'm taking over the world.
He's like, no,
I
I'm
wanna do
fucking
this.
everybody.
Yeah.
Did you, by any chance, when you go to Mars, did you meet some mice who rode motorcycles specifically?
No, mice from Mars, no.
You did. So you did not meet the
No.
biker mice from Mars.
No, when you beat the science, when you get the science win victory, it just shows you sending a rocket into space, like a little cinematic, and then it runs the victory, and you get your ending video and all that stuff. And Sean Bean is like the narrator of the entire game, so it's so epic as he reads out everything.
That makes no sense.
So-
Sean Bean would have been dead by this point.
Yeah, I know. He lived because when I beat
only-
the game, his voice was there at the end, so he's still alive.
There's only one movie I've seen the guy live through. It's The Martian.
Oh yeah, he did live through that, didn't he?
Yeah, but it wasn't any imminent danger, or it had anyone wanting to kill him. So
Yeah, he didn't have to worry about Pierce Brosnan trying to throw him off a giant ledge.
Oh, so good, so damn.
or
good,
any
that
of the
movie.
orc army trying to shoot him with arrows.
Yep. Or Jack Ryan getting him. He was one of the enemies in. I think he was.
I think
in
didn't he
Clear and
get
Present
decapitated in Game of Thrones too?
Danger. Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
His head on a spike. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
that was like the Game of Thrones moment.
Oh yeah, it was a good one. So I beat
Sorry, go on,
Civilization, and then I was like, all right, I need something less intense, less like taking over my life, because it only took me like a week and a couple days, and that was 50 hours. Like I'm home a lot, but like, geez, like that was it was my every moment. Like I had my laptop.
You started noticing after a while, like how much extra time, like how quickly you breeze through stuff now.
Oh yeah, like holy crap. So I was like, I need something else. And my workouts weren't going great at home. I was trying to do all this like strength training, but I have nothing here. And I ended up going to Shoppers Drug Mart for a supply run, and I checked, and they had that Ring Fit Adventure for Switch, the exercise game that comes with like a Pilates ring.
Of all places
and all
too,
this
where it's
stuff.
always sold out, Shoppers still had it. Of course,
Yeah.
Shoppers has it.
Shoppers
I,
got it that morning. They had a shipment come in that morning, and there was 2 on the truck. And when I asked, they're like, "No, but it says it's in our inventory. I'll go check the back." It wasn't even out like where it would normally be on display. They had to go.
I
to
will
the back
tell
for
you
me.
one thing: Shoppers is a gold mine for games. So
Yeah.
one boxing
If you
day-
actually see them.
Yeah, but one Boxing Day, there was a 24-hour Shoppers close to where I live, and it was either Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2. It was Black Ops 2 that was going on sale at midnight. No, it was Black Friday. It was going on sale at Shoppers Drug Mart. So I went to Shoppers Drug Mart, the 24-hour one, at midnight. The Black Friday sale started. I was able to get the game at midnight because of
It's
Shoppers
amazing.
Drug Mart. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
I
just
also got to use
hilarious.
all my what are they called, PC points when I went in too. So even though the game's like $99, I had over $30 in PC points, and I got $30 off right away. So that's amazing.
So now you can kill 2 birds with one stone. Get your gaming hours in, get your workouts in.
Yeah.
Speaking of killing, I hear the Ring Fit does a lot of damage to people when they first try using it. How did that go for you?
Holy fuck! So I work out at a gym regularly, and I thought I was in good shape. But the thing is, like, I'm all like strength training, and the odd time I'll do running or something. But I don't do squats. I admit I don't do that kind of workout. This, at the end of half an hour, I ran my Apple Watch too, because the game does track your heart rate. The right Joy-Con, which you attach to the ring, has an IR sensor, which I always wondered why they had that. I was like, all right, I guess if you control the TV with it or something, I don't know. But when you put your thumb on it, IR sensors can actually read your heart rate. So at the end of every level, you put your finger on the Joy-Con controller, and it takes your heart rate. But it only, like, all the breaks in between and everything, it doesn't measure and everything, like when you're going into the next level and reading through stuff, but your heart rate is still like escalated like crazy because of the last level, and you do about 3 in a row. So I use my Apple Watch to track it, and even though in game it said I burned like 130 calories, during the 40 minutes I used it, my Apple Watch had me burning, I think it was 400 calories, which is the same as just running on a treadmill straight. My legs still hurt today, and that was 2 days ago. I've only done it twice.
How long were you on the Ring Fit for?
He said 30 minutes.
Between 30 and 40 minutes. The game has like a story mode where this bodybuilding dragon escapes from this ring where it was encased. You have to take the ring and chase after Drago, or whatever his name is, the bodybuilding dragon. And you run through levels to get towards him, and then you do boss battles. Whenever you get to like in the levels, you have to run on the spot to move forward. Then you have to either squeeze the ring to shoot out like energy to hit boxes and stuff in your way. If you need to jump, you aim the ring down towards the ground, squeeze it, and your character does a jump. If you need to do like a hovering jump, you have to squeeze and hold it longer. And then if you see items that are far away, like money and the collectibles, you have to like pull the ring outward. Which is another strength thing. So you're constantly doing this while running on the spot, and then you'll run into an enemy, and to kill an enemy, you have to basically do 2 exercises. And you have a list of 4 to start, and then you open more as you level up because you get experience and all that. It's either squats, a yoga pose called chair, and you do a chair pose, and you have to hold the ring over your head, slowly put it in front of you, and then slowly go back up, which gets, because you have to do it so slowly, like you can't try and go faster or else it actually like penalizes you. Yes, but you're not against the wall. Like you're doing a squat. You do a squat in place, and you hold it for probably 2 minutes, and you're just constantly putting your arms above your head holding this ring, and then slowly lowering your hands to the front. It's a yoga pose, and it kills.
I wouldn't be able to walk for 2 days.
Yeah. Then there's another one where you have to go down onto the floor. So I had like a yoga mat, which was good, or else it would have been hard on a hardwood floor. It's like where you hold your knees into your chest, and then you have to extend your legs all the way out, and then bring them back into your chest. And the fourth one, what was the fourth one? Oh, that's where you hold your arms above your head and pull the ring outward. Oh, no, sorry. Squeeze it inward as hard as you can. Now, it sounds like, okay, doing this once would probably be fine, but every time you select one of these exercises, it makes you hold that pose for 5 seconds. And you do that, and you have to do it, I think 15 times in a row. 5 seconds each. So it's like you're doing 15 reps at 5 seconds each time. Then it makes you do the same exercise another 15 times, but fast. So you like when doing squats, you go down, you hold your squat for 5 seconds, stand up. You do 15 of those. Then it makes you do another 15 squats going fast, like down, up, down, up, down, up. You do all that exercise, so like say 30 squats, and the enemy's health is only half gone. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, you're sweating already, you're in pain, and it makes you pick another exercise, and you can't do the same one in a row. You have to switch over to another one. And then go do another exercise, and it makes you do like 15 of those, like pulling your leg crunches and extend your legs. And you do again like 15 of those slowly, and then 15 fast, and then you'll kill an enemy.
So I get the sense that by the end of this, Chris is going to be like Goku at the end by the time he's like gotten used to this.
My legs are going to be fan-fucking-tastic. It's insane. Like, this won't work for my normal exercise with, like, building arm muscle and chest muscle and back muscle. It'll tone.
It's definitely a good compliment.
Yeah, it's going to complement like crazy.
Chris is gonna one day just walk by and be one of those big booty hoes on Instagram, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely. Especially with all the squats. When I got to Drago, the boss for the first level, so normal enemies, you had to do like say 2 sets of workouts, and then they die, and then you have a second to like grab some water, then you have to run on the spot again to continue the level, and you keep doing it. This one you have to run upstairs, which is you don't run on the spot, you have to lift your knees up above your waist, like those high knee ones, to climb 100 stairs. Then you get to the boss, and his health is so long, it made me go through every single one of the 4 exercises twice. So I did 60 squats, 60 of these leg crunches, 60 of these chair yoga poses, and 60 of the I can't remember. And the squeezing of the ring above your head.
I feel like there's got to be like an easier setting on the exercise so it doesn't go nearly as hard.
Yes. So what happens is when you go in, you put in like your gender, your weight, and it makes you do a couple tests where you like push in the ring for 20 seconds. And then
I guess it
pull
gets
on
a sense of where you're at.
Yeah, it gets a sense of where you're at. And mine was like not the hardcore. It was like easy, normal, intense, hardcore. It put me on intense. So I'm assuming the easy or normal is obviously going to be less reps and stuff of this. Intense, I was not expecting to be so intense.
It might.
They weren't kidding.
Yeah. It might be like too easy. Like, I think intense would probably be where you and I would be at.
Yeah.
And even Adam, because relatively we're pretty active despite quarantine.
Fuck that shit. I'm forcing it to be on normal.
Yeah.
But it's like easy would just be like, yeah, I need more than this. This isn't going to do anything for me.
I'm assuming easy's for somebody like really out of shape starting for the first time.
Yeah.
Another really cool... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So, no. I want you to... Go ahead.
Oh. I was just going to say another really cool thing is that you don't just attack the enemies, they attack you. And whenever they do, you have to take the ring, push it against your abs, and push the ring in as hard as you can. And it works out your abs like crazy. And you have to sometimes hold it there for 20 seconds. And if you don't hold it long enough, you actually get hit and you only have 3 hearts. If you lose your 3 hearts, you have to start that level over and do all the exercises again. And there was one cheap thing with that boss is that he went to hit me. I held it for the 20 seconds. And when I let go, it went, oh, he's doing another one. And he hit me right away. And I lost 1.5 hearts out of 3. So if I got hit one more time from him, I would have had to do the 100 stairs up to him again, and then all 8 exercises over again.
In a way, it's like it's a bit of a bitch, but it's like you're getting something out of it. It's not that you're just playing a game.
Yeah, and there's another setting they added to the Switch that I was wondering, like, what the hell is this for? There's an alarm on a Switch now. You can set an alarm, and I was like, this is so stupid. It's actually for this game because now your Switch actually lights up, like where the power button is, the home button for the Switch. There's a blue ring on it that lights up now. And when you open the Switch, it actually doesn't say, like normally you just like hit A 3 times to go into it. It actually has a big picture of Ring Fit. It's like, hey, you set an alarm for 8:30. You're going to play a game. You're playing this. And you actually have to like hit the home button and say, yes, I want to skip doing my workout to proceed to gaming. It makes you feel bad.
Oh.
It's like, bitch, get back to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gotta work.
So it's been actually, like, Brittany has it, and she said it was intense, and I was like, I know, but I played Wii Fit. Like, Wii Fit was stupid. Like, it was not an intense workout. Yeah, no,
but
this shit
Wii
is
Fit's
intense.
over 10 years old. Over 10 years old.
Yeah. So this was definitely a workout, and that made me also then buy another game, because I wanted to not just work out. I wanted something to play, and I definitely built into the hype that I'm seeing everywhere, and I ended up buying Animal Crossing. I totally gave in. It's such a ridiculous game. It's the first time I played it.
So you bought Doom.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get the new Doom, but I haven't played the first one yet.
How do you play Animal Crossing? I've seen my sister play it, and it just seems like a silly game where you're walking around and fishing almost.
It's one of those.
It's basically a life simulator. It's just a little bit more like cartoony.
A very cartoony life simulator.
So The Sims almost?
More cartoony. So in this one, in most of them, it's just you move to a small town with all these animals, and this capitalist motherfucker Tom Nook, this raccoon, goes, "Oh hey, I've got you a house right here, but you owe me $500,000." And you're like, I don't have $500,000. I just got here. Can't I just make a house? It's like, no, here's your house. You owe me $500,000. So in this one, you go on, you choose to leave the city and go live on a deserted island with other people and just live there. Make your life your own. Do whatever you want. You just live there. But you get there and he's like, all right, so you owe me 50 grand. And it's like, what? You have no money? Well, you're going to have to like earn it. And that's why you do fishing and stuff, because you can sell the fish and then you get money and you use that money to pay off your freaking ticket to get to this island. But there's all these other people that have done it too. And you get to like place where your tent is, and then inside your tent you get to customize it. You like can craft items and earn items through little things. Like I've got like a cot, a Nintendo Switch, oddly enough.
Isn't almost like an entrepreneurship simulator?
Yeah,
No, it's,
like
it's just a pure like rehab game. I
yeah,
think is the best
yeah.
way of
Like
putting
you,
it.
the only thing you can do is like you can gather apples from trees and sell them. You can fish and sell those. You'll see like holes and you'll use a shovel and dig up in the hole and you find a fossil. You go take that over to this owl guy who wants to open a museum on the island, and then the more you find, the more opens up. And then you earn recipes, and then there's this workbench that you can build things like another shovel, a better fishing rod, a bunch of other stuff. And you can actually like customize the island. So you can like there's rivers, and you can actually eventually like dig and make the river go somewhere else. You can dig up a tree and move it. You can hit trees with an axe and gather wood, which you might need to build other things.
So yeah, so it sounds like it really does sound like a very cartoony version of The Sims itself.
Yeah, think The Sims, just like very little realism in the sense like there's no jobs. You just live in this animal little town.
It's almost like a
and-
Saturday morning cartoon Sims.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah, and there's no ending. Like you just play forever.
It's pure rehab. Like it's almost
Yeah.
similar to like what if you just play Minecraft on creative mode and just build stuff. Like that's kind of the similar kind of feeling to it.
Yeah. It makes me feel like I'm escaping to a deserted island in this super happy place in like Costa Rica and living there, avoiding
speaking of
COVID.
Minecraft, I've just actually like lately I've been like thinking of I'll wait till it's my turn, but I have an idea of what to do during this time right now that we're basically imprisoned. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Actually, no, that's pretty much it. Like I haven't been, besides Ring Fit and Animal Crossing, I haven't played anything else since I beat Civilization, which I think was on Monday, which I actually hit. So I am doing that thing where I can't buy a game until I beat 5 games. Well, I bought 2 games this year. Resident
you
Evil
gotta
3
finish
with
10
you,
games.
Vish. Well, I just beat Civilization 6 was my 15th. So I was allowed to buy 1 game, and that's why I ended up
okay.
going and buying
Well,
Animal
dude,
Crossing.
Resident Evil 2 is only a 20-hour game, and essentially, like you could finish one story and then start the other, and it's not it's a very easy binge almost.
Oh yeah, no, I've got to get back into it. I'm not going to lie. It's because I'm at the safe house right before you see Mr. X for the first time and got to deal with him. And
Well,
I'm just a little bitch, and I'm like, oh, when I go in, it's going to be
Are you
such an
playing
intense
on
moment.
easy?
No, I think I'm on normal.
Okay, switch to easy because it's just honestly not worth the headaches.
Oh, okay.
I
did
did
also-
Can do it.
I
Say
did
what?
get the DLC where you get a gun and the knife that are both unlimited durability and unlimited ammo. I do have that DLC. I'm thinking of maybe just also, using that knife and that gun and just
Well, that gun is better for zombies. I would say for Mr. X, you would need to use something more powerful because you have to shoot him in the head to discombobulate him. Sorry, Adam, what were you saying?
Oh, I'm just saying you can kind of fit whatever level he wants.
Oh, I know, but it's just like I find when you play, I started off as normal, and there just is not enough ammo unless you're very strategic and skilled in it.
No, you know what? You're right. That's what I did too. I was on normal for a long time, and then I was like, oh, these guys take too many hits with this ammo. And I ended up putting it down to easy because they died quicker.
Yeah, it just
Yeah, I
it
did
doesn't
do
make any
that.
sense. You have to like shoot a fucking zombie 10 times.
Yeah, and you only have like 12 bullets.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just the same zombie that spawns at that same window every time you pass it. It's like,
And,
oh, fuck.
I don't know if you have gotten this far in the game, but this is a new addition to the franchise where the knives have durability.
Yeah,
so the
I
knives
noticed that.
can die essentially.
That was one of the reasons when I saw the DLC go on sale, because normally like $5 or something, and it went down to $1. And I saw one of the items you get is a knife with unlimited durability. I was like, I'm buying this DLC. I don't want to deal with my knife breaking and having to find a new fucking knife every time.
Well, they said for Resident Evil 3 that the knife is going to be indestructible.
Yeah, because that
Like-
just makes more sense.
I appreciate the realism of the weapons not being indestructible, but it's like this is just too much of a fucking headache to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. Animal Crossing and my working out game. So a lot of Switch, which is weird because my backlog is not on Switch.
No, not at all.
And I've got Witcher 3 going, and I've got Resident Evil 2 going on PC. And I mean, also
Okay.
Witcher 3 on Switch.
You should pause The Witcher because I know you've finished it, right?
Witcher? God, no.
You don't pause The Witcher.
I think I'm
Damn it.
I'm in 30-something hours on PC.
Fuck.
That joke is so fucking old. Stop.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'm gonna still do it.
Yeah. No, I'm probably not going to play Witcher for a bit because Civilization was such a long, intensive game. I'm probably going to play something shorter, like Resident Evil 2, actually, maybe, because I can play through that. And I'm already like 5 hours in, so I probably only need another 15 to play through it 2 hours.
Yeah,
So
no,
maybe I'll do that.
it's actually it's a new addition to the series. It's not like it's not a remake. It legitimately feels brand new to the series.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but that's all I've been playing. And I was going to say, what have you been playing?
So I finished God of War, like as I mentioned. This Sunday I was just bored and I wanted to go through some of my backlog, so I pulled out Call of Duty World War II, which I heard is awesome, even still now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I played the campaign, and it was a very good campaign mode. And what was different between this and other Call of Duties, this campaign was actually based off a true story. So it's like these guys actually essentially did this.
Like the characters in it are the true story, or just mean that World War II?
The story itself is based off of like true events.
Oh, I did not know that.
So you've played it, right?
Yeah, I played through it. I would have probably appreciated it even
Adam,
more if I knew it was
Adam,
based
what
on
about
true
you?
story.
Have you played it or no?
Of course I have.
Pardon?
Of course I have.
Okay, no, I didn't know if you had Call of Duty World War II, because you don't usually buy Call of Duty games. But yeah, so I've had this game for 3 years, and I actually just opened. It was still sealed when I opened it on Sunday. So, and yeah, it was actually a very intense campaign, and it was really cool because, again, the whole part about it being essentially a true story was made it even more intense. And I didn't like the flying part in the game. I thought that was very poorly made.
I found it difficult.
Yeah, it was unnecessarily difficult, even on easy. But I find it was a well done game. I didn't play any of the zombies yet because I don't really play online. But I feel like this is I like the World War II history and nostalgia behind it. And
what if that one's crossplay and we could do zombies all together?
I'm not sure. I would hope so. I was trying to set up Call of Duty Warzone today, and I don't know what the fuck happened. I couldn't set it up on the PS4. I then tried doing it online to set up an Activision account, and then when I used the password that I had for Activision on the PS4, it wasn't working. So I have to figure out what's wrong with it, because it was after 10 minutes it got too frustrating to continue on. And
couldn't tell you. I had no problems doing it.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't downloaded it yet.
Well, I don't know if
that.
it's a server issue or what it is. It wasn't working for me today.
Could be just very popular with everybody being at home and it's a free game that's new in Call of Duty.
Possibly. You know what? It most likely is. I thought it was a really good campaign mode. That's the only game I've played, and also I've been playing this puzzle game that was available on the PS4 quite cheap a while ago called Brick Breaker. Friends, whoever has had an NES, think of it as Arkanoid. So it's essentially
Brick
paddle.
Breaker's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's other versions of Brick Breaker type games where you can like click on similar colored groupings of bricks where they just disappear. So
there's actually a really neat a game that came out. It's called I think it's called Twin Breakers.
Oh, nice.
Where if you guys remember Colin Moriarty from IGN way back in the day,
I don't.
Him and Chris Reagan, who are both do a podcast together on YouTube for PlayStation called A Sacred Symbols. They actually released a game called Twin Breaker, and its big gimmick is it's Brick Breaker, but you actually have a Y and an X-axis block to use.
Oh,
on the...
fuck.
Hmm.
On Steam, there's a version. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna keep going. So.
Oh
no! What system is it? What system is it on?
I've seen it on PS4. I'm assuming PC as well.
Twin Breaker.
Twin Breaker, yeah. Or
Okay.
Twin Breaker: A Sacred Symbols Adventure is the full name.
I think we should be able to find it with Twin Breaker.
It looks like PS4 and Vita seems to be what it's for right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it on Steam here.
So this is a very simple game to play, but it is quite rage-inducing because, like, as with most puzzle games, and especially with a game like this, the reaction and the rebounds of the game are very unpredictable, and this controlling is not that smooth. You could just tap on the arrow keys, and it moves way more than you were expecting it to move. So and the rebounds again, they're just very unpredictable. So while it's a good time waster, it's just fun in general. It's quite rage inducing. And movies wise, I saw Onward this past week.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I can't wait.
It's another Pixar gem. It's very good. I think it didn't get that good of critical rating. But I think it's because there's a lot of modern day it's mythological creatures in modern times. So I don't think critics appreciated the modern Dungeons and Dragons and Magic references that were done in this game.
Yeah, this was definitely for a certain type of audience.
Oh, definitely. This was a Pixar movie for the nerds. Like the nerds. Like the one
Yeah, me.
Like for me, I hate Dungeons and Dragons, but Chris and I know that's from basically playing with a toxic group.
Oh yeah.
But it was a very well done movie, a great family dynamics. It was funny and just engaging the entire time. And there was no real villain or bad guy in the movie really the entire time either. And it was a very nicely well done movie. And the makeup that Spider-Man and Star-Lord had totally make them look like CGI elves or dwarves, or I don't know what they were.
Orcs, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know. Adam,
Yeah,
what would you define them as? Orcs,
What?
dwarves, elves?
What, the people in Onward?
Yes.
I don't
definitely
really know
not
because I don't even
elves.
remember what they look like right now because I didn't really pay much attention to the trailer.
Blue and pointy ears. Oh,
I'm
they're
pretty sure
elves.
they're orcs. I want to say they're orcs.
Yeah,
But it
I
wouldn't-
honestly couldn't tell. I mean, they could just make it up as they go.
Wouldn't orcs be more hideous though?
Not
Well, in Dungeons
necessarily.
and Dragons,
Have
not
you seen
necessarily.
fan art? They make it look good.
Yeah.
Fair. But I think my next game will be the one that I have put off way too long, Metal Gear Solid 5, because I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. Number 3 is a fucking legendary classic,
Yeah.
and I've heard this one is even better. So
I played a bit of it, maybe about 10 hours of it, and I enjoyed it for what it was at the time. It's just, again, it was very easy to get distracted by other things at that point because I'm not the biggest Metal Gear guy.
yeah,
But
I
it was pretty
also
good for
haven't
what I played
finished
of
it.
I
Maybe
know,
the three of us should play through that game.
Oh boy, that I think it's a pretty engaging game that we wouldn't finish for a month or so.
That's
or
adorable that
maybe
you
like-
think I have
Oh, yeah.
time with all the Japanese stuff that I got. I just got Yakuza 6 in the mail today, too, so...
Oh, you
good
did?
God. And we know what Adam's going to talk about in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yep. And I still have that fucking Punchline game I keep, trying to record for YouTube, and I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Punchline, is it a boxing game or fighting?
No, that was the game I was telling you guys about. That's a visual novel where you will actually lose if you look at panties.
Oh, yes. Those are the best YouTube videos, people trying to not look. They
There was a game on
always
the,
look.
There was a game on the iPod a while ago that was like don't stare, and the game was essentially that like don't stare at someone's cleavage or something. And it's like
Yeah.
I just cheat and put the phone down and walk away.
Yeah, I feel like there's an easy way to cheat.
No, you have to play through the level. So it's the girl's not looking away. You have to stare at the cleavage, like, So you kind of have to play through it.
Best game ever.
Yes, I think it's just called Don't Stare.
Speaking of
Shut
which,
up.
Vishal, I'd just like to let you know that Brick Breaker is on Steam, and I have added it to my wish list. Eventually, it will be in my backlog.
Yes, this is something you shouldn't like dedicate yourself to because you will find a hole in your TV monitor.
Perfect.
Or you can
I
just
always
get
wanted
good.
it in a TV. Yeah. Oh, I'll
It's-
get good.
Oh, suck it.
Well, I mean, we're doing this remotely, so that might be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's true. But Adam,
So-
you had something you want on the back burner
Yeah,
today,
so
apparently.
news-wise, it's pretty quiet. I mean, to be completely honest, like, we can go through and talk about all the things that gaming companies are doing. Like, Plague Inc. just donated 250 grand. Nintendo is putting. I think they donate a bunch of masks and stuff. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
9,500.
COVID-19 related stuff going on. I don't really want to go too much further into it unless it's something major.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, like, this is like our one bastion of talking to each other and having fun. Let's not talk about potentially the country getting or the world getting fucked up.
Yep.
So I try to find some ways, especially when we're doing this remotely, to actually to add some extra stuff in here. So I thought of something interesting that we can do at least on a weekly basis that'll only last us about 12 months because it will eventually end off. And that's from the last podcast we did on Wednesday. So we're starting this from the 19th of March. I'm going to give you guys some of the best games that have come out in the last 7 days.
Ooh.
Almost like a This Week in Gaming.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start us off with the 19th of March. And so this by
Madden
the way...
2021.
Yes, in March 19th of 1994, which is where I was starting. So the way that this
Madden
list is going,
94.
I did my best to make sure that this is original release date. So this may not be when we got it. It may be Japanese release dates.
Yeah,
the
probably
first date.
Japan.
It may be
Yeah.
the first time it was on it was on PC, but not on console yet. So I'm not putting ports in here. I'm not putting US releases. I'm not putting remasters, remakes, any of that shit. This is straight up original games at their original release date.
Okay.
So March 19th,
Let's hear
there
it.
are 4 on this list, and I didn't put everything in there because some games just don't fucking matter. These are either like really important games or something that I like to take a shot at. Mostly really important games, but there's a couple shots that I'm going to take in this list. 1994, on March 19th, Super Metroid was released in Japan.
Ooh, one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
the best of the series.
By
Oh,
the
yeah.
time we get to the end of this list, you're going to realize that, man, this week was really good for gaming. As I did this list, I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of good stuff.
Madden
March has always been a
95.
pretty good month, though, because March is kind of around that time that everybody's like getting ready to go back outside. So it's that last bastion of, oh, I got to finish this game before, I have to start going outside again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metroid, I mean, obviously really famous for being games done quick's big thing. Save the
Oh, yeah.
animals or fuck them.
Yeah.
not literally, I mean like metaphorically.
Yeah. Don't bang the animals.
1998, Final Fantasy V was released in Japan, which Chris recently just
1998?
beat. Yes, 1998.
What? That's amazing. Damn, I love that game.
Yeah,
That one, I don't think I've actually finished that one. I
5?
might have.
Oh.
I might have. But yeah, no. Release wise, we didn't get it till '98. Or sorry, we didn't get
Yeah.
it till Oh, hang on. Did I already fucked up this list. It was released on PlayStation in '98. It was released in 1992.
Yeah.
Sorry, I fucked that up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, it was on Super Nintendo, so 98 seemed very late. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
we got it in the
I thought about
Final
it for a second,
Fantasy
like, wait a minute,
Anthology.
you're right. That does sound weird.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Anthology is the first time we ever got it officially in
one
North
of my
America.
favorite tracks, one of my favorite video game tracks, is the Final Fantasy VII battle music. We're like,
Oh, yeah. Classic.
I gotta play you a whole bunch of other Final Fantasy music.
Yeah, there's so
you'll
much
have
better
tears.
than that theme.
You will have
Probably.
tears.
No, I just really enjoy that track. Unfortunately, sometimes when I'm on the highway, I have to switch because it makes me drive way too fast. It just
Or
gets
you
me
could just
hyped,
be,
like,
or you could just be a responsible adult. I don't know.
The best
yeah,
Final
but
Fantasy
then I get
song.
into the moment, and it's like I feel like I'm on to defeat Sephiroth.
Speaking of Sephiroth, I have a funny story of when I was in high school. Me and my best friend Brent, his parents had a Mustang, like convertible. We were driving around, and this is when you could start burning CDs. And I obviously went apeshit on burning Final Fantasy music. I had one CD for every Final Fantasy. We were driving around in the Mustang, music on full blast in downtown area, to the Sephiroth song. Sephiroth.
One Wing Angel.
One-Winged
Oh my
Angel.
God.
We were just driving around and people were staring very confused.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it's like to be 17-year-old me. Possibly 16-year-old me, I can't remember.
That is amazing.
It was.
So, 2003. Now that I think I have my dates right again.
Are you sure?
Probably not. 2003 was Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Oh yeah, that sounds right.
Which is the last Pokemon game that I think I actually played and bought.
I never played those
one
ones
since.
I don't think I played those ones. What was that one on? Was that Game Boy Advance?
That was Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, see, I never had a Game Boy Advance.
What was it?
Oh.
Did it still have? Was that the one that was the first one that didn't have the OG3?
No, that would have been Gold and Silver. That was still on
okay.
Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, which is more of a funny one, in 2013, the first non-Telltale Walking Dead game came out, which is Walking Dead Survival Instinct, an infamously really shitty first-person shooter.
Horrible game.
Was that the one that was based off Daryl and Merle?
Yeah.
Yes. And it was
was
fucking horrendous.
It was brutal.
Like, for example, if you ever just wanted to beat the game, all you have to do is just walk into a fence, and the zombies will just keep walking into a fence, and you can just slowly whittle them away like that. Wow. They would never go around the fence.
That is horrible. Fuck.
Yeah, they didn't put a lot of work into that. It's almost like sometimes when licensed games come out that they only use the license as the selling point.
Oh yeah, they don't give a shit sometimes.
It's honestly what made Telltale's Walking Dead so interesting, because we all expected it to be kind of meh, and it ended up being one of the best games that year.
Actually, yeah. I think the first game to really use a license and do it amazingly was Arkham Asylum, because most superhero games back in the day were garbage, plain simple garbage. From what you guys have said, Spider-Man 2, the video game, was actually good.
Oh, so good.
It was really that good.
It was the last good superhero movie game until Batman games started coming out.
Yeah, I would say until Arkham Asylum, that was the only good comic book movie game.
There was a Spider-Man Ultimate game where it was Spider-Man as a toon shader. That was actually a really good game.
Honestly, any Spider-Man game since 2 I really didn't like.
Yeah, no, I think that Spider-Man game came out before 2 as well, the one you're talking about.
No, that one came out on the PS2. That one definitely came out later. That was late 2000s, like mid to late 2000s. That was actually a really good game.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I had a different one in mind. That was based on the animated series from the 90s.
Yeah, that one was a good game. But essentially Arkham Asylum, I feel like really set the standard. It's like, hey, let's make something good out of this shit. Let's not dick around with it. It doesn't have to be living off the name. We can make something of quality with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And then Spider-Man fucking killed it on the PS4.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
No, I'm looking. I just hope they can do a good job with Avengers.
That'll be a whole different story.
Exactly.
Let's see. Speaking of killing it, March 20th. First game on the list, 1997, Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Ooh.
Okay. Ever since I just finished the Castlevania series last week, and I've been wanting to actually play that. That's the one that came on the PS1, right?
Yes, that is arguably one of the better ones they've ever made.
Okay,
hands
hands
best
down.
one.
It's the Super Metroid of fucking Castlevania.
I hear it's one of the best games on the PS1, and it's virtually timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me it wouldn't be just because I'm a big JRPG guy, but yeah, like not counting like JRPGs, that was definitely one of the bigger ones that people talked about.
Well, it's what's it called? It's a rarity with a game on the PS1 essentially being considered timeless. Because
by the way, that even a great example, that Trails in the Sky game I was telling you about, basically similar graphics to Symphony of the Night. Like similar graphic style.
Like the older one.
Yeah. But it's not 3D-ish, but it's got a bit of like, it's not nearly like the Super Nintendo like 32 or 16-bit I think that we're used to.
But with Symphony of the Night, it's a side scroller game. Is the game you're playing side scroller?
Well, I'm just saying the graphic style. Like I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm just talking the graphic fidelity of it.
Okay. So it's 3D, but it's almost like Castlevania style.
It's still very much similar, like almost 2D-ish looking graphics with a bit of like a 3D flair to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sick.
That's one game I've like considered buying on the PSN store, because again, I just watched this show and I thought you would love the show, Adam. It's fucking awesome.
We went through this last week. Yes, I know.
And then like it made me like want to actually, because I remember playing them back in the day on the NES. I was like, hey, these are fun.
Just don't play Simon's Quest.
Is it that bad?
Castlevania
doesn't
2
even make sense.
It's not even really a Castlevania game.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay then.
There's
But
that
I guess-
Castlevania collection now you can buy.
Yeah.
Well, with what's it called? With this one, I hear it's like legendary. Like it's always in everyone's top.
Symphony of the Night is one of the best games. Period.
Yeah, hands down.
If you ask a
I
lot of
mean,
people.
it's in the Metroidvania. Like, this is the game that made it not just be a Metroid-like, it's a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
It defined an entire genre
Shit, I gotta see.
with Super Metroid.
Is it on Steam? Is it available on Steam or no?
No, Sony has a limited
Exclusive?
deal so far. Yeah, limited exclusivity with the re-release. Yeah, which sucks. I'd pick that up right now because I think it's probably only like $20 or something somewhere. If I wanted to play that right now, I'd be willing to just buy it, not even on sale. That's how much I loved playing through that game before.
Did you finish it?
I don't remember. I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, shit,
Anyways.
I may end up buying it. Yeah, go ahead.
2006, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
That one had Patrick Stewart in it.
Yes, it did.
That is the best fucking part of that game, and I love that game. And that just makes it even better.
It was a big deal for a lot of people. I still struggle with the Elder Scrolls games then. Morrowind and Oblivion I both had trouble getting into. Skyrim was really the only one that I've gotten like actually seriously into when it came out.
Skyrim's the only one I ever beat.
Yeah, same. Like Morrowind and Oblivion I liked. I think the problem was, especially back then, it wasn't nearly as streamlined, so it took all your attention. And I remember one time playing Morrowind for a while and then stopping and then coming back to it a week later and not having a goddamn clue what I was doing.
Oh, I fucking hate that in games. It's like, wait, what?
Because it doesn't even tell you what you really did. Like, you see what your quests are, but you don't remember where anything is. You don't remember where these places are. And half the
So
time,
it's-
like, you have to dig through your journal trying to figure out what you did.
So is it like for me right now? I restarted Metal Gear Solid 5 twice because I just didn't remember what was going on. So I feel like it's a situation where I have to restart the game again so I know what the fuck is going on while I'm playing it.
In the case of Morrowind and Oblivion, it was less because you'd forget the story. It's because, quite frankly, there was... You know how a lot of games will say, oh, this was your most recent quest that you accepted. Okay, here's where it is on the map. None of this existed. So it was very much like... It was an old school game. You had to be paying attention to what you were doing. So if you walked away from it, you might forget where the fuck you were.
So it's kind of like if we played the original Zelda now, it'd be like, where's the next dungeon?
Yeah, in a sense of that, yeah.
Yeah, if you're like 7 hours in, then you open it and you're like, wait, what?
Where's the next
Where do I
dungeon?
go? That was 6 months ago. I don't fucking remember.
And then to cap off this day, a couple of infamous ones, not on the good side. 2012 was Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City,
Oh god! Oh my god!
which was a good idea, but just a real shit finish.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Like multiplayer Resident Evil, that sounds awesome, but was definitely a little too early for its time.
Yep.
Honestly, like if you could make a game kind of similar to what Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 are right now, you could probably have a good time doing multiplayer with that.
Resident
Oh,
Evil
yeah.
Resistance?
What?
Does it look any good or?
Oh yeah, it's one of those monster games where one person is controlling like the evil person from Raccoon.
Is this
And they're
I didn't know
controlling
about
like
this thing. I hadn't heard about
yeah,
this thing yet.
it's free multiplayer that comes with Resident Evil 3.
Oh, that's
So everybody thought it was going to
no
be a
wonder it's only
standalone.
like 2 days ago that people started talking about it. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh no! Like they talked about it like a year ago, and everybody thought it was like a Left 4 Dead Resident Evil game they were making, but it turns
Oh,
out
okay,
it's
no,
just
just
part
because
of
all
it.
the stories were recent, so I was wondering if
Yeah,
it was like some
yeah.
recent thing they announced.
But
there
a
was-
lot more
Speaking of that,
details
did,
right now.
did you guys see the Predator Hunting Grounds trailer that came out recently?
Yes,
Not the recent one. I saw the original one. It looked
That looks
pretty
interesting.
Fun. Yeah.
that does look interesting. It was
It's like
supposed to be a
Dead.
different
It's like Dead by
IP.
Daylight with Predator. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I think is it the Dead by Daylight people that are making it?
It might be. I'm not
So
sure.
is it that one person is a predator, or is the predator an NPC hunting?
One
you?
person's the
You
predator,
are the Predator,
and, the
and a bunch
yeah.
of people are the others.
Yeah, I think it's like a 4 versus 1, where the one person's very powerful and the other 4 very weak, but they can work together, kind of thing. It's like a monster movie.
We do the mash.
And that's actually what the Resident Evil game is like, where one person is from Raccoon City and controlling like a Mr. X and stuff like that, and the other 4 are trying to break out of the Raccoon
Well, never
laboratory.
mind. They already did the idea.
Yeah.
Damn.
The other game,
also-
the other game in 2018 is apparently is a lot better now. But Sea of Thieves came out really, really poorly when that came out in 2018.
Oh yeah, that was a bad release. I always wanted to play that.
I was curious about it too because again, open
What
world
system
pirate
was
game.
it on?
Fuck yeah, 360 and PC.
Yeah, it's a
Or
Microsoft
sorry, not
exclusive.
360, Xbox One and PC.
Yeah, and even though it's on PC, it's only in the Windows 10 store.
Yeah, so it's
Like
one
you-
of those.
Yeah, it's one of those.
But like apparently, it was either IGN or somebody else re-rated it today or like a week ago and gave it an 8 now. So it definitely sounds like they got it a lot better.
Oh, so it's like when Destiny came out, and then essentially as the content increased, it got a lot better, right?
I don't care what anybody says. Destiny 1 was still fun at launch. It just got a lot better.
No,
Yeah,
but
the
I
Sea
mean,
of Thieves was pretty rough when it first came out.
when Destiny first came out, it was an average of 7 out of 10, but as it improved and content
Okay,
increased,
but let's be honest. A 7 out of 10 to a reviewer is not the same. They probably were more giving it 5s. But no one gives anything below a 6 these days.
But from what I've noticed about sevens, 7 is either it should have been better, or it was a lot better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, I don't like that. We're not going to get into the ratings conversation, though. That's a whole fucking half-hour topic right there.
I think we did have
shit.
that in one of our episodes.
I think we
No,
did
that
too.
was
not
half
an
an hour.
episode. I think it was just a bar talk.
No, actually, now that Chris says it, I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was listening to some of our old podcasts and we went into the rating system. Yes, we recorded at Pooch's house. It's that one.
Oh, okay.
Anything. March 21st. Pretty big front load on this one, too. 1989 on the Genesis, Phantasy Star 2.
Oh yeah.
Those are great JRPGs.
Oh,
I wish
Phantasy
they would
Star.
start making more of those again, or at least like bring them back and port them. But
Yeah, not the like Phantasy Star Online versions. I want
although
like
I'm
an
not gonna lie,
actual...
when PSO2 finally comes here to the West, I'm definitely trying it.
Oh yeah, me too. But I want like a Phantasy Star, just like Dragon Quest 11. Like bring an old school Phantasy Star, just update the graphics and release
And honestly,
it. Phantasy
we
Star
need
5.
that because it's super sci-fi.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like
And
like a JRPG Star Trek, in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Sega. We know you're listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, either that or give me a fantasy. If you give me a Phantasy Star movie, I'll deal with that too. Okay, I'll
True.
take that as a pass.
Absolutely. I
Since
see
they
that.
apparently have a film division now.
I know nothing about Phantasy Star, so unfortunately I have no input on this one.
It's
It's the
Final
Sega
Fantasy,
Genesis-
but super
yeah.
sci-fi with guns
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, it's
That
the
is
Sega
awesome.
Genesis Final Fantasy.
1996 Kirby Superstar Saga.
Good one. Definitely a good one.
1996.
Yes, 96.
Yeah, that was
That was one on SNES, right? Or
Yeah, it was
That
like
would've
right
been
at the
nice.
end. Kirby always had a game right at the end of a console's life. Like Kirby's Adventure was like 1991 on the NES. Superstar was like when the N64 was basically already out. I missed a lot of these games back then because I was already on the new console.
I'm glad I checked again because I almost said Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 4 in 97, and then because we had the Final Fantasy 5 discussion, I said,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
That's definitely the
Yup.
PS1 version. Final
That would've
Fantasy
definitely been
Chronicles.
yeah, that was the PS1 version again. God damn.
Yeah. It's all right. They were
So,
important. All
when
these were
did-
day one purchases
Did
for me.
you play any of the Final Fantasies on NES?
No, I never had one.
I played the original Final Fantasy on NES, and the thing is fucking broken.
Well, and
the
it
thing
only
is
would have been
fucking
the
hard.
original because we never got 2 and 3 until
Yeah, we never
they
got 2 and 3.
re-released.
We didn't
How
get
long-
3 until the DS.
Like Final
3DS.
Fantasy.
Or no, sorry, DS. You're right.
Final Fantasy
Sorry, what was that, Vish?
6. Final Fantasy 6. Like I know that one's your favorite because of Kefka, right?
Yes.
So how long is that game?
30 hours?
Like hours?
Okay. yeah.
I think it's about 30, 25 to 30.
Let's see. How long to beat FF6? On average, 37 hours.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I didn't like. I don't know. I did in that generation of gaming. I never had an SNES. I never had a Genesis. I got PlayStation quite late. I would say I got a year before Electric Dragoon came out. So in that time period, my gaming knowledge is quite weak. So I was not expecting a game in that generation to be that lengthy.
Well, and that's the thing. Like so much of it was grinding, though. So realistically, like if you really wanted to run through it and you didn't have to grind for levels, you probably could do that game in 25 hours easily.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
But
could
a lot of
grind
those games were
fast.
built to last, so they did things like grinding. So
Yeah.
Well, with a lot of games also back then, like saving was so sporadic, it was almost difficult. Like I played more of the Super Nintendo games on the emulators. So I played Super Metroid and Super Mario World on emulators. Then because I never had the SNES, and even like with the emulators, I was fortunate that I could save whenever I wanted to, and it made the game significantly easier. But I'm like, wow, this would have been a bitch to fucking play.
yeah,
back
like
in the day.
even just playing Trails of Cold Steel right now, I can't imagine having save points.
Oh, there's no save points in the
Without-
game. You can just save.
No,
whenever?
you just save whenever you want.
Oh, there's no save points in the Star Wars game. What's it called again? Fallen Order. Yeah, there's no save points. There's no like on the fly saving. There is save
Yeah,
points.
there is save
And
points.
that's-
Yeah, you have to go to the
yeah.
meditation circles or whatever you were saying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons the game itself is so difficult, because if you don't save, and the healing thing is kind of flawed as well, because it's not like you're low on health and you can heal right away. You have to like put in the command to heal, and then it takes about 3 seconds to happen. But sometimes you're just one small hit away from death, and then like a half-hour progress is gone.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's my favorite thing Star Wars has ever done, but it's definitely not easy, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because even playing it on easy, the puzzles are the exact same difficulty no matter what difficulty you're on, but the combat itself is a pain when it's on normal. Like throwing the controller across the room, rage-inducing.
Anyways, let's keep moving here. So, 99, Pokemon Snap.
Oh, fucking perfect! I love that
What?
game so much.
Is there an end to that game?
I mean, yes.
Yeah,
but
it's only
not
like
really.
I think 5 or 6 levels.
Yeah,
and the last one
just
you
keep
end
going
on
back
Mew.
to it.
Yeah, I played it over and over because you got to get like the better pictures, and there's certain things you can do to make certain Pokemon appear. Like you throw an apple at a Magikarp, it gets knocked into a waterfall, turns into a Gyarados.
Well, I know I played the one level where you throw Pokeballs at Charmeleon and it becomes Charizard.
Yeah.
I remember playing that.
And then you take your memory card to Blockbuster and you print the Pokemon stickers.
Yeah.
That
I
is-
actually did that.
That's kind of cool, but it's like, now looking back, it's like, why did I do that?
Because we're kids and stupid.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. It's like why collect stickers or stamps or anything.
2001 was a big one because you had the Game Boy Advance released.
Okay. Yeah. Like the actual system release.
The actual console was released, or handheld
Nice.
console, I
Okay,
should say.
Yep.
That
Two
thing
major games were
changed.
released the same day. Castlevania Circle of the Moon was released the same day, and so was Mega Man Battle Network, which I loved growing up.
Oh yeah.
Was that a online fighting game?
Mega Man Battle Network on a Game Boy Advance? How would that be online?
Okay, never mind. My bad. No, actually, the Game Boy Advance is really what changed mobile gaming completely, because the technology that was available on there. I remember the Tony Hawk game that was released for Game Boy Advance. It's like, this is a fucking handheld.
I mean,
game.
realistically, technically, every Game Boy ever released has been revolutionary in its own right.
But this
Yeah.
one was in particular. It's like, oh, I this is available in my hands now, because
I'd still disagree. I don't think any of them stand out. Like all of them equally have their own thing. Like Game Boy Original was a big deal. Game Boy Color was
Yeah.
even bigger. Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance was just better graphics, and then DS was like, hey, you want 2 screens?
Yeah. The Game Boy was like its own thing. The Game Boy Color was like an NES. The Game Boy Advance was like a Super Nintendo in your hands. The DS was basically a PlayStation 1 in your hands.
Yep.
It just kept getting better. 3DS was a
What-
PS2.
Like
With the
honestly,
Game Boy-
every Game Boy was the exact same result, just better graphics each time.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I get that, but with the Game Boy Advance, that was like the biggest jump between graphics, because with
Is
Game
it, though?
Boy and Game Boy Color, they were more 2D games and had limited options. Where with the Game Boy Advance, it's like actual 3D and a smoother frame rate. Where the 3D, it's like that was the one where I was mind blown. It was like, wow, this is available on handheld now.
Did Game Boy Advance have 3D?
The Tony
I never
Hawk
had one.
game.
I mean, technically there were games that were like pseudo 3D,
Oh, okay.
like
okay.
kind of similar, like
Again,
like
the Tony
Sonic
Hawk
3D
one is
Blast kind of
still-
3D.
Check out the Tony Hawk on Game Boy Advance, and you'll see like where I'm going.
I know what
with
you're
this.
talking about, but that's not really 3D. Like we're not talking the same kind of 3D here.
But I mean, like
Like on a
for its-
3D axis, yes.
Yes, and I mean like.
Oh, I
DS,
see it.
Yeah, DS was like okay, this is like a huge thing, but Game Boy Advance, I thought it's like, oh, let's start taking mobile gaming seriously.
What, Game Boy Color
That-
wasn't?
Game Boy Color was just a glorified Game Boy. It just let the games display.
Is that
in
not
color,
mobile gaming?
essentially. It is, but it wasn't like a revolutionary upgrade. Like for Super Nintendo, they had, I believe it's called the Super Boy, where you were able to put Game Boy games on the Super Nintendo and put the games in color.
Super Game Boy.
Super Game Boy, yes. So that technology was almost in existence. It just wasn't really in three-dimensional advanced visualization world.
Yeah, but okay, but you go to a kid the second the Game Boy Color got released and tell them that was going to be in their hands, they're going to think it's the greatest thing that ever happened to them. So I think, like I said, they're all revolutionary. I don't think you
Yeah.
can put one over the other.
I think they had the same leaps as like the home consoles did, like NES to Super Nintendo to say N64 and on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just-
Anyways, we're spending way too long on these tangents, so I'm going to try to run through this list a little bit faster now, because we're already about to hit an hour and a half. So,
Which is
2000,
usually
2000
an average.
Sorry, go ahead. What was that?
I was saying that's usually an average time for us.
Yeah, and I'm only like 3 days in, so.
So go ahead.
2005, a bit of a one for me, Time Splitters Future Perfect, which is my favorite Time Splitters game and such a great first-person shooter.
I don't think I played it.
Those were fun. Like, Time Splitter games were fun because they were almost like what Bond games used to be before Bond games kind of stopped existing.
Yes, actually, I did play a little bit of one on a PS3. I remember.
2006. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't remember those ones, the Time Splitters.
Though
go
I think they want. I think they're trying to make another one. They keep trying to, and it just never comes to fruition. But those games are pretty fun. 2006
Go on.
Suikoden 5, which is my favorite Suikoden.
I never played 5. Only
That
3.
one's
only
actually
played-
pretty good.
I only played 2 on the PS1, but never finished it because it's
You also
Go
don't like a
ahead.
lot of JRPGs.
Yeah. It's
Or
very JRPG.
or RPGs in general mostly, besides Zelda.
And then to finish off the 21st of March, the really sad one for me was 3 years ago when Mass Effect Andromeda came out.
The letdown.
Yeah,
But you said well, Mass Effect 2 is like your favorite game of all time. So
my favorite post 3D era of all time for sure.
Okay, so with Mass Effect 2, it's like the Dark Knight compared to the Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises on its own is a good movie. The Dark Knight itself is a essential masterpiece.
I know where you're going with this. Mass Effect Andromeda is the Batman and Robin of Batman movies.
Oh, so even
So it needs a
comparing
drinking
it-
game.
Yeah, a
So
drinking
even-
game for every time the facial animations fucking look stupid.
So
Those were
even-
the best.
Even without comparing it to the previous installment, it was still a piece of shit, essentially.
I finished the game. I honestly do not remember a thing about it.
Well, that sucks.
Not a single character that I really like. Not a single moment that I really like. The only
Wow.
no, there's one thing that I remember that was really dumb. So in Mass Effect Andromeda, you're in a new galaxy, so it's actually there are two things. One, both first contacts technically in that game end in the most stupid ways. The first time you contact anything in this game, you don't have a choice, you have to fight it. So first contact has to be a fight. So it already takes the choice away, which is a big thing of what Mass Effect does. The second time you technically make communicational first contact is the worst mission ever because they force you to walk through the entire part of the map and it takes forever. So
They make you
both times, yeah, like they it's almost you're getting a tour of the place and you're walking around and you can't talk to anybody. So for a good like 3 to 5 minutes, you're doing nothing but walking and listening to a character talk.
Oh, I hate those.
They could have done this in a cutscene, and they chose to make you walk.
For 3.5 hours.
It's 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
If it was 3.5 hours, I wouldn't have finished the game.
Okay, so it's already sounds like this game. Yeah. Yeah,
Honestly, gameplay-wise, it's actually really good, but everything else sucks. And the core of Mass Effect to me has always been the story, and the story is terrible. But alas, on to things that you guys like. March 22nd, we start in 1996. Original Resident Evil.
yes.
Still never played it.
You just can't play it now. Even the remake they made on the GameCube, it's just
You almost
not
wish
playable.
they'd remake it again.
I kind of want them to, but then it's like, how many times do you have to remake a fucking game? But
Well,
the thing
considering
is-
how the game still feels dated even with its remakes, I think you should.
fair enough. It was when it came out, absolutely revolutionary, absolutely awesome, absolutely just groundbreaking. It's a great game, and it's gonna go down in a legendary status eventually one day. And you know what? It probably is in a legendary status. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's legendary in terms of of its name, but in terms of a game now, looking back at it, not so much.
Well, like the mechanics and gameplay is painfully dated, but
That's what I mean. For what it did back in the day, yes, it's legendary.
yeah. So, well, I think if they were to remake Resident Evil 1, blank slate, completely redo it, but do not make the game first person.
Well, just
It
do what
doesn't
they've been doing
need
with
to.
the 2 and 3 games. Like,
Yeah,
why
I
do we
feel
even
like
have to
they
talk?
will.
Like, just redo it the way that they've been doing 2 and 3.
That was the only flaw I found with the Resident Evil 2 remake, was that they still based the game that it was in the late 90s. I think they should have remade it to the point it took place now.
Why would you
just think-
change it? Like, it's canon. You can't change the
Yeah,
canon.
you can't change the canon.
There's only the thing is though, the only thing that would have changed in the game was either they used the DVD and there's a one
No,
only-
Vish. Like, story-wise, everything's done in year. Like, they have everything set
Yeah.
in stone year-wise. Like, you can't change the story.
No, but Adam, the only thing that actually shows the date, like the dated part of the game, was, and in no pun intended, a VCR was used.
Okay, well then go on the Resident Evil subreddit and say they should update the years and see how people just
Yeah.
just absolutely destroy you for that.
Because there's like 13 games that all take place in a certain time period. Some of the games are based in the 80s, stuff like that. And
Like
a
all the
prequel.
Yakuza games, even the remakes, they still keep the original timeline because they were all made to be the day that they were released.
What's the timeline of Yakuza's?
Yakuza, like basically every year the game gets released, that's the year of the game. Like if the game got released in 2003, that game takes place in 2003. So,
I don't know,
anyways,
that's the only thing the only flaw I found for it. Maybe a lot of people don't find it. That's the only thing I think they should have changed. But if they were to do Resident Evil remake, I just don't do it in first person because it doesn't need to.
why
be.
would they do it in first person?
Well, they did Resident Evil 7 in first
Because it's a
person,
new
didn't they?
game.
Apparently, Resident Evil 8, from what they've been kind of leaking, it's going to also be first person. I think it's the same character from 7.
Well, that's the thing. If it's
Ethan
continuing,
or
yeah, it
whatever.
makes sense
Yeah.
keeping it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think Resident
2005.
Evil was better.
You're wrong.
That's sort of-
2005. Wrong.
No. No.
2005. On to another thing that you like, since you know you want to talk so much
God
about
of
it.
War.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The best game on the PS2. One of the best games on the PS2.
Nah.
You don't play enough JRPGs, my friend.
I don't play JRPGs. No, but it's honestly that was another game that it had a weapon that was almost never seen before with the Blades of Chaos, and Kratos was like almost a tragic figure, but he was like and a hero you didn't want to like him either, which is
Yeah,
very
he was
rare
brutal.
in gaming.
I loved the first original trilogy of those games.
Oh, the first game, the number one was my favorite until I played the one on the PS4.
Yeah, that one I haven't played yet. Obviously, I gotta
It's-
get there.
Yes, I will. Eventually, I will lend you my PS4 so you can just play that game.
Absolutely.
Because I was going to lend it to you for I was more than willing to lend it to you for Arkham Knight, but then I had too many things. I have too many games now on it that I have to play.
He'll be good soon. PS Now is going to become a normal thing on PC.
That is true.
Oh yeah.
And
And then the last thing for this day, Game of the Year candidate from last year, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, aka Ninja Dark Souls.
Yeah, it was Ninja Dark Souls.
was
Which
it
I
a,
actually am kind of curious to play.
I
is
watched
that a JRPG
speedrun.
or
Do you know what Dark
It's
Souls
a Dark
is?
Souls. It's a Dark Souls like game.
so it's an action game or adventure game?
It's a hard. It's like think Fallen Order, but on steroids in terms of
Yeah,
difficulty.
extreme difficulty
fuck.
action game. Yeah, extreme. But people love it. And they like turn it up to 11.
Let's see, March 23rd, because I'm going to start to really bum rush through this stuff now. 1993, Kirby's Adventure.
Perfect.
NES.
I'm assuming.
The
Yes. Oh no, yeah, that was 93. Yeah, it was
Oh
like
my God,
released
the-
well after the Super Nintendo was already out.
Oh my! One of the best games on the NES, and the game I felt pushed the NES to graphical limits.
Yeah, 100%.
It's such a good game.
2004, the original Far Cry, which, speaking of blowing people away with graphic fidelity, 2004 for Far Cry was a big one.
I never played Far Cry.
Neither
Any of
have
That
I.
game was infamously hard too because the AI was way too fucking smart.
Wow, for 2004, that's amazing.
Yeah, the AI was actually like unfairly good sharpshooters.
Oh dang.
2010, just for pure chaotic reasons, Just Cause 2, because that's when it became really popular.
Yep, I did enjoy that game.
I never
Just
played
'cause-
that one.
That's another game that you'd be into because it's just a game where it's almost like Michael Bay the video game.
Yeah, absolutely. You can attach
can
people
gra-
to
you can
a rocket.
grapple hook. You can grapple hook yourself to a rocket, fly into the air. If you happen to pass a fighter jet, grapple hook onto the fighter jet, surf the fighter jet.
Yeah, and then
What?
parachute down.
Yeah, no, it's almost like it's almost like a sandbox at that point. Like you're
Yeah.
just fucking around.
Open world, you can fuck around game. You can shoot your grapple hook to attach it to an enemy so they're attached to the rocket and they fly up in the air. Or to like a canister of gas, then shoot the canister of gas and it takes off and drags the bad guy with him.
Michael Bay, if you're listening, make this movie.
It would be a good movie.
Actually, that probably would be a
Actually,
fun movie.
I think they're in talks to make this movie. I always see
I wouldn't
like
be
a little-
honestly. I wouldn't be surprised.
Is Michael
Yeah.
Bay directing this?
I think
if
it's one of
he
those
isn't, it's a
ones where they
shame.
haven't even got a director attached yet because it keeps
Yeah.
changing.
And then last on this one, 2012, a big comeback that I don't think a lot of people ever saw coming was Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh right.
When did that one come out? Again, sorry?
2012, that would have been 3DS.
Okay. Yeah, I remember because they brought Kid Icarus into Smash Brothers.
Well, yeah, because he'd been in
and-
Smash for a little while before
Yeah.
that.
And I think that's where the popularity came back. And the
Because
drive
people,
for a new
people
game.
liked him so much in Smash that they wanted to see what this is all about. And unfortunately, the original games on NES are not that good.
No.
No, they're very dated, even for.
I
its
had the
time.
Game Boy version of it. Oh god, the game was brutal.
Like even for its time, it feels dated. But he was one of the best characters in Smash Brothers Brawl because he was just a different character, and it's like, oh, who is this guy? It's like, oh, this is kind of awesome, and then it's like they wanted a game with him after that.
Mhm.
So, but did you guys ever? I never played that game. Did you guys ever do it?
No,
I never had it on 3DS.
I didn't play. I had a 3DS, and I never really bought too much for it because I've never been a handheld guy. So
I had a lot of games for 3DS, but just never got that one. I like the theme song though. Yep. That's
see,
it.
he's hit the bingo card twice today, guys. Man, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
March
People are
24th.
gonna win money then.
No,
Go ahead.
no, not in this global
No.
economy. They aren't.
You win shame.
2000 on March 24th, Kirby 64: The Crystal Shards.
Oh yeah.
Never
A
played
lot
that
of Kirby's in March, apparently.
Yeah.
one. Yes, it seems like it.
Kirby month.
That game I played, it was all right. It's one of the only Kirby games I think I ever finished because I
definitely didn't finish
own a lot of Kirby games growing up. So
I didn't own that one. I played it at somebody's house and I don't even remember who.
2003, Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker.
I hate that game.
Yeah, I didn't like the. I loved the game. I just didn't like the sailing.
No, I didn't like the game at all. I didn't like the art. I didn't like the action, the gameplay.
See, you're wrong about the art, but I can get the gameplay because the boat mechanics are fucking sweet.
I played like 25 hours of the game. I never finished it because I couldn't. I had to sail somewhere again. I was like, no, fuck that.
And as most people will tell you, the one thing that game really has going for it, it has probably one of the best final bosses ever.
The
Ganon
battle?
The battle with Ganon in that game is legendary to people.
I don't know. I was so.
You can't
frustrated.
answer that because you've never finished it.
I just stopped playing at the Ganon battle because I just got so frustrated because I just did not enjoy the game. I just YouTubed the Ganon battle and the ending. I played until the Ganon. You don't get that. I just did not enjoy the game and I just wanted to be done with it.
Okay. 2005, the PSP came out.
That was 2005?
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I thought it would have been a bit later, like 2008, 2007.
I finished the God of War game on that. It was only like 6 hours or 7 hours or so.
I didn't
As
realize
I checked
it was
just
out
to make
before
sure,
the PS3.
It was 2005 for us. It was late. It was like really late 2004 for Japan.
I thought it came out at the same time as like the PS3. That's crazy.
No, it came
Let's
out
see.
like at that time.
Yeah, for us it was March 24th, 2005. The PS3 would have been
2007.
7, yeah.
It was 2006.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
right.
late though, right.
Yeah, yeah.
About a month and a half after.
Yeah, because I got Metal Gear Solid 2007 with my PS3. So.
Yeah, I remember that there wasn't even achievements on the system at that point or trophies. It got updated later.
2008, infamously like one of the only few like genuinely positively reviewed Final Fantasy sequels, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation Portable.
Yep.
Which who was the main character of that one?
It was Zack, who is a character who is already dead before the original Final Fantasy VII starts.
Yeah, you only see him in a flashback.
So he wasn't in Final Fantasy VII at all.
No, he was always like a flashback.
He was a flashback in it. Yeah, he's the guy that gives Cloud his sword. The Buster sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
We get to Dark Souls-y stuff as Bloodborne is in 2015 and Dark Souls 3 in 2016. Both are games that people will universally tell you are fantastic. I've tried both. Fuck those games.
I have Dark Souls 3. I gotta try it. That'd be a fun Let's Play of just.
I mean, it's like I said before. I play a lot of games on easy just because I don't have time to deal with the stress of it. So those games just aren't for me to begin with.
Yeah, it doesn't have easy. I don't think that's an option.
Nope, not at all.
No, that's the level is fuck you. That's what the level is.
Yeah.
And last but not least, on the 24th, my favorite game on this list, Dead or Alive Extreme 3.
Boobs.
AKA the game that you couldn't even get here in North America without importing it because North America hates tits.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
America.
And that's all
I actually got very close at one point to importing it just as an act of solidarity, and then my brain went, wait, I'm not paying $80 or $90 plus shipping from fucking, I think it was like Singapore to get this game.
Damn.
I'm like, no, I'm not that interested in saying fuck you guys. And then March 25th, there's only really 2 games on this list. One of them is 1999 Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes.
Oh my God! So until Arkham Asylum, the best like comic book superhero game ever made.
Yeah, decent fighting game. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, in my opinion, was the better one. But then again, that was also taking a formula and perfecting it.
I'm biased in the fact that I've never played the other one, and I've only
the only thing I'll say though with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the biggest flaw was with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Each character had their Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Each character had their own unique ending. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did not have that, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had a immensely huge roster.
It was also a fighting game. I don't think most people were caring about story modes at that point.
No, it's
it's in the story fight.
No, it's like
this is also the couch co-op era still. So I think most
Yeah.
people were still playing with their friends more than they were playing single player. Nowadays, fighting games, they kind of need good story modes because most people don't play with friends anymore because we don't have friends.
Exactly.
But then what am I?
We love you, man.
A co-host.
Oh, right.
Dude, you want
It's
to play
a
a game
quote
after?
unquote upgrade. I always want to play games.
Exactly. We got to figure out something to play because I need to like have a little bit of a social life before I go to cabin fever, which I'm sure
Speak
is
for yourself.
slow.
I don't need shit.
Yeah,
I am slowly going crazy.
I'll just start talking to my anime figurines.
If they talk back, that's when there's an issue.
Yeah.
Well,
They haven't
well
talked
yeah,
back
but
yet.
I think that might be okay because I don't take any sort of drugs, so I think we should be good on that front.
Yet.
Yeah, that you know about.
I like how
could
you
be-
say yet, even knowing me personally as a guy who's 32 years old and definitely will never ever take drugs in his life.
Solitude and quarantine can do things to a man.
Some
Yes,
say
it
friendship
won't
is a
make me
drug.
suddenly start taking mushrooms. It will not.
Oh, I'm not saying mushrooms, dude. Don't go from 0 to 700 right away.
Well, what drugs am I going to take that's going to make me think I'm going to talk to my fucking figurines?
Secondhand marijuana smoke?
No, I've been around
No.
pot smokers quite a lot. I
It's
did not suddenly
definitely
feel like
that
talking
is
to
definitely
things.
mushrooms for sure.
That's why I went mushrooms because that is clearly what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's
Fuck, if I take
figurines are gonna
a
talk to you?
hard enough drug, I'm not going to be talking to my figurines. I'm going to be trying to fuck them.
Yep.
This reminds me, Chris. Don't do mushrooms while playing Nintendogs right now.
Yeah, for the
because I will
safety of
try
all
and fight
dogs.
them.
Pardon?
Because I'll try and fight them.
No, dude, because it's just gonna make you want to hurt people, and this time with shrooms, you are
Yeah.
actually going to hurt people.
Good point. Good point.
Maybe even just
Exactly.
himself. Depends if he can get out the door.
Yeah, or do it alone.
Do it. Don't do it alone because probably want to just fly off the balcony or something.
I don't.
And-
That's pretty intense. I don't
Well,
know.
shrooms are hallucinogens, so
True.
exactly.
And the
Any-
last game on this list, which is a bit of a downer end because it's not like a big deal, but 2013, Warframe, which is universally known as one of the best free-to-play games out there in
Yep.
terms of non like games that try to go out of their way to make you spend money.
Warframe.
Like yeah, Warframe. It's a third-person
played
kind of hack and slash shooter sort of deal.
It's on everything.
Oh.
I think it's cross-platform too.
I've played a couple hours of it. It's actually pretty fun. I never really got deep enough into it to see how far down the rabbit hole goes, but the couple hours I spent with it, I did enjoy it. But it's another kind of one of those games where I would have rather have people to play with.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a lot of other games on the list that I could have put in, but in the interest of time, which I knew ahead of time when I made this list, because there was like triple the games on this list when I started it, and I'm like, there's no way we're gonna get through all this.
Well, I didn't realize March is such an epic month for game releases.
It has been, especially recently, it ends up being like the biggest month usually every year. That and September tend to be the two big ones, and November
Yeah.
because it's like Christmas.
Yeah. No, it's like, frankly, if we knew what was gonna happen, like January would have been a huge game release month this year.
I mean, most games are still coming out when they're scheduled. I mean,
Yeah,
at
'cause
this
they've already
point,
been
as
made
far
and they're
as far as I know, no major game has been delayed since.
No.
No game. Well, the digital option is available, and even
Well,
the
that's what I
online-
mean. Like the only thing that's happening right now is people are having some problems getting pre-orders.
Yeah, like the physical release ones. Yeah.
No, but
What
GameStop and EB Games, they're essential services, so
No,
They
they've
have to.
officially closed their stores down. That's not a story
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah, they're gonna be shut down. Permanently
No, they are
after
shut down.
this.
Yeah.
No, I think they're
Oh, permanently.
I think they've like signed their death warrant doing this.
No, they're like a lot of other businesses. They somehow managed to survive.
They've been like struggling for a while. I think this time it's
Yeah, we've been calling for them to be done for like 10 years.
That is true. They are still around.
We've honestly been calling their demise for over a decade, and they're still here. So nothing would shock me if they stay alive.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like I haven't shopped at there since the last time they annoyed me, which is when the Wii U was out, and that was when Mario Kart was just released. So who knows? But their future looks a little bleak at this point.
But
let's see
alas,
what happens.
we are nearly 2 hours, so I think this is the point that we might want to shut this son of a bitch down.
Yeah, I think it's been a good one.
Yes, it has.
So
March
plan
is a
on-
good month for gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do this again for next week. Hopefully, I'll hopefully be a little more accurate with the list because some of them I could have sworn I had them right, and right away I'm like, wait a minute, that does not make sense at all. This is the problem, like so, especially with the older generations, it's so hard to nail down release dates because some things got released like years after.
Yeah.
Well, the Final Fantasy releases are all over the place.
Well, Japan in general, like the old NES and Super Nintendo days, there were a lot of games that we just never saw for like 2-3 years.
yeah.
And
Because we weren't a major
Yeah,
market
and,
back then. Like it took until Sonic for really the US to be taken seriously as a gaming market.
yeah, I would agree with you on there.
Yeah, because even
mean-
Super Mario Brothers 3, we got like I think it was a year later.
Let's see.
Well-
Super Mario 3.
I think it released in
Wikipedia, I love
'88 in
Wikipedia.
Japan, and it wasn't till like 1990 that we got it. It
You
was
are
like
absolutely
over a year.
correct. It took 2 years.
Yeah, and that's Super Mario Brothers 3. Like,
Yeah.
clearly we're gonna buy it.
It's just one of those things. I mean,
It's-
now even looking at it again, actually, oddly enough, we got Super Mario the same year, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And just for the sake, I'm going to see Super Mario World to see if that was
You know
any
what?
different. And
What-
that was
what
about
was-
a year after. So, generally speaking,
Check-
with Japan back then, it was like about a year.
One I want you to check. This is the only one. Zelda.
The original.
Yes. I feel like that one was delayed.
Oh, probably.
for
Let's
sure.
see. It was about a year and a half, so about the same as most.
Okay, nothing too extreme then.
No.
Yeah. So, but it's yeah, I would say Sonic was like, hey, we can make money off these people. Let's bring them some more games.
I mean, Mario and the NES were already kind of doing it. It's just it took Sonic for Japan to really realize, oh shit, now there is an actual market that we can touch over there. And even in the last like 10 years, I think a lot more companies have realized that in Japan because Yakuza wasn't a big deal 10 years ago. Monster Hunter really wasn't that big a deal 10 years ago. So we're starting to see, again, another resurgence of Japanese companies looking at the West and being like, oh, there's actually people that like our shit.
Yep.
I mean, the last 10 years, anime has become more than just, that one thing that, like, people just know Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon.
Yeah, but well, even with Netflix having the Castlevania series, like that's going to be a huge jump for them because I was even thinking like some video games would actually make amazing animes like Metroid.
Almost all of them would, because you don't have to worry about video quality. You can make
Yeah.
it you basically, anime goes as far as your budget goes in
Yep.
terms of quality. So, like, if you get some of the best studios like UFO Table to do an anime with a good budget, good lord, that thing's gonna look fucking amazing.
Nope. No, but like Metroid was once like I'm gonna work on one article on my website, vishaljuice.com, and I was doing an article about video games that would actually make great animes after watching Castlevania, and some of them were pretty basic. Mario would actually make a very fun animated series, even though Mario has had an animated series before.
A lot of them actually do already. Like Final Fantasy has had several of them. 7 had its own anime feature. 15
Mortal
had
Kombat
a
and
series.
Street Fighter.
Like, I'm even talking in the last like 5 years.
Yeah, no, Street Fighter has an anime on Amazon Prime right now. It's probably terrible. It's probably very cheesy, but
That is
still,
not a new thing. It's got to be an old one.
probably. But it's a lot of
That's
like
I'm,
Metroid.
but
I
I'm
think-
talking like in the last 5 years of brand new stuff. Like almost all of them are coming out with like these little features that they kind of add on to it.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Sonic as well has one that's on Prime as well.
Yeah, well, Amazon has a lot of old shit too. So.
Yeah, that is true. But even then,
But anyways, I'm gonna
do.
cap this sucker off here because Lord knows I need to fucking go to sleep soon.
you got 40 minutes to
Absolutely.
sleep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So
I mean, I at least gotta watch a little bit of porn before I go to bed.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see.
Wait, anime, hentai. Never mind.
You have about it's 10:21. you have about 14 minutes of porn to watch, 5 minutes of getting ready to sleep, and then 10 minutes of shutting your mind off.
Okay, I can do that. Go. All right.
There.
So this has been the VCR Podcast. Thank you so much for checking us out here. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more stuff. If you're listening to this on any audio service, if you can rate us, please do so. Give us at least 4 stars. Come on. You can give us 4. It doesn't have to be 5. Just give us 4.
Please get 5.
And then if you can, please share it with all your friends and comment if you can as well. So leave that open as well. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. And what you trying to interrupt me again now, Vish? What do you got?
I'm just saying, friends, stay safe and stay at home.
Okay. I thought we were stopped talking about COVID. We're not talking about COVID, so we're leaving COVID. Bye, COVID.
It's important.
Play games
right now.
Play games.
Stay home and
that's
play
more
games.
important.
Play games, most important.
Keep calm
Good
and play
night,
games.
friends.
I like it.
Yes. Good night, friends.
I'll
Night,
say good
nerds.
night. I have the control. I can say when this is over.
Good night, friends.
He's gonna keep doing this until I finally turn this off, isn't he?
Play some Madden.
Oh, now nope. Now we're done. Goodbye, everybody.